it hurts. And I'm too sexy for Milan, too sexy for Milan, New York and Japan.
Welcome back, everybody, to this week's version of Doing It with Styles. And for those of you who are not watching, you're pretty smart. I have two special guests here today. They are kicking off a new show here on WWDBTV, and it's called The Debt Lifeline. And I came up with nicknames.
Uh-oh.
Tom and Jerry.
You already have a nickname.
That is true, I do. The
Right.
voice.
On the end down here is Aaron Phillips, who's known as The Voice. Going forward, to my immediate right, is Rob Goldstein, who I'm going to start calling the $. So we have The Voice and the $.
Okay. I've been called other things, by the way, just to let you know.
Yeah, well, I was
a lot
trying to be
worse.
kind, and this is a family show.
But
so
in my business, though, in my business life, I'm also known as the Jewish Bulldog.
you're,
The Jewish Bulldog.
The Jewish
The
Bulldog.
Jewish Bulldog.
So you
Okay.
can.
But I like
but,
the $, though. 'cause
yeah,
that's a
I like the
quick-
$.
I
Yeah.
like it. Not bad.
Okay.
Okay.
So anyway,
Not bad for an amateur.
yeah. So you guys, you took a little hiatus for your show. You had a show and you stream live
Right.
on Facebook and YouTube. Maybe some other platforms coming up soon.
Yep.
You'll also be able to check them out on our website, WWDBTV. Pretty good, huh? I've been
like
saying
that.
it for a while now.
Yes, a few days.
And a Roku channel, which gives us a whole new audience. Anyway, why don't you, Rob, tell us just a little bit about the Debt Lifeline show.
Well, we created the show a few years ago. We've been working together for several years now. And I've kind of morphed into a go-to guy helping people solve financial problems.
Okay.
One of the nicknames might be financial crisis management.
Okay, does that include some guy owes me money and you'll go take care
No,
of it?
no, I don't do collection work.
Oh, okay.
Although if somebody owes me money, I'll do collection work. I don't give credit. I mean, I'm in the cash business. Just
Right.
like when you go to a restaurant, it's a cash business. Or you go and live up in Las Vegas, right? So if you go to see your favorite hooker, I'm in a cash business. I don't extend. Now, if I know you and we're paying well, I'll accept some terms. In other words, you can pay me the commission I earn over 3-4 installments if I'm feeling.
If he's in the mood.
I was just going to say, if you're in the mood, yeah.
Okay, but generally speaking, the concept is I settle, I get a commission.
Right.
I don't charge a lot, I want to get paid.
But that's pretty much how it all works. I mean, whether you're an attorney or something like that, it's like you
It's
get
true.
a commission for the work that you
Well,
do.
when a real estate agent closes a real estate transaction, they get paid out of escrow.
Right.
So if I get somebody a loan, whether it be an SBA loan or private loans or private money, I do private money loans too, by the way, and whatever it may be, I get paid. I just want to get paid, and I cut it up with all the people that work with me. They get their cuts, or where they may be, and we just want to get paid out of our deal.
Okay, so but you're not a lender, you're a facilitator.
I'm a facilitator. I'm not a lender. I don't lend money. I don't have the money to lend. I don't lend money.
Only to those people that you don't want to be friends with anymore, right?
Yeah,
So you lend them money so you
That's
can.
it.
You know, it's funny because people are always coming to me and saying, well, just, give me a few bucks to hold me over, whatever. We're not lenders. We solve problems, and they have to pay me to solve the problem.
You know what? You ought to hook up with the what is it? The Lending Tree or
Right, the dollar.
Yeah, the dollar loan center or
Right.
something like that.
When they have people that
No,
don't pay.
Right, yeah.
no. The Lending Tree is it's funny when people want to get a mortgage loan,
Right.
or now they do personal loans. They're a middleman,
Right.
okay, and they run your credit. They run your credit like multiple times, and then they dish out your credit reports to all these different lenders who rerun the credit again. So the problem with going to the Lending Tree is you're going to lose 100 points in one day, maybe
Yeah.
more.
But if you're there to help those guys collect the money from the people that aren't paying them, that's not a bad deal either for you. Help the people that don't pay their loans.
Oh yes, I didn't follow you. Yes,
Right, I know. That's what I'm getting
Yes.
straight
If
the
you-
road
yeah,
out.
I know.
Well, that's what you were alluding to. I knew where you were
But
going.
if you can't pay your loan, like for example, all these people that got all this EIDL money, one of my
kind of
next
money?
EIDL,
EIDL?
Economic Injury Disaster Loan.
Oh, okay.
the idle loans that were prominent during
For
the
those
pandemic.
people, there's no forgiveness on those loans. There were grants. They gave a small amount of grants, like $5,000 and $10,000. But if you can't pay those loans back, I can help people defer them or even get out of them. So if you owe money to banks and SBA and companies that have that give you loans for equipment and things like that, I can help you get lower interest rates. I can help you negotiate settlements with those people. I mean, I grind for a living, so I can.
You have. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
He's like a bulldog.
Yeah.
Once he gets his
Jewish
teeth
bulldog.
into him, that's right.
Yeah.
You have another program too that you are just kicking off or initiating the
CMF, Commercial Minority Funding Consultants, and I made sure the word consultants were in there because we're not a lender.
Right.
We're a middleman that finds the right money for you. We also package you to bring you money.
So is this just exclusively for women and minorities?
No.
So old white guys could
Absolutely, but
Or
you're not going.
takes-
Well, you're not going to get the female loans or the minority loans.
Right.
But old white guys can get a loan too.
Okay.
So
Bottom line is, it's whatever the financial crisis is, whether it's wanting to start a new business,
Right.
get out of a situation, a particular situation like we talked about, a situation at a client with the VA that lasted forever that he can get involved with. It's really wherever there's dollar signs that a client needs help with.
hence my new nickname.
That's
Yeah,
why I
Dollar
used
Sign.
it. It's called consistent
The dollar
branding.
sign, I like
There
it.
you go. I like that. So yes.
So
Yes, sir.
how long have you and Rob been doing the Debt Lifeline show?
Oh my goodness, it's probably what 6-7 years now.
We've
off and
been
on with
doing
different
stuff. We
hiatuses.
named it. We named it the Debt Lifeline. I think. Was that?
Well, that was before this hiatus.
Was it?
We named it that way.
That show was over about 2 years.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That one was 2 years. Then we took the break, and now we're back on. Because really, you know what? If when people will see the logo, it kind of looks like that TV show where people are on the island and
Right.
they get right. And that's purposely done because really, to deal with any financial situation where you're in trouble.
Please don't call
You're
me
on your
Gilligan.
own.
Don't
No, I won't call you Gilligan.
Okay.
You're more the skipper. I'm
Okay.
Gilligan. Where you have to survive.
Yeah.
And if you don't survive, you get voted out of some financial issues. So really, it is a debt lifeline because of all the avenues that he has available, that life preserver to throw for the situation.
Right.
And that's why we came up with that name to relaunch the show when we did.
No,
previously.
I like it. I think it's catchy.
It's a great branded,
and it's,
branded
You're
show.
welcome. I came up with it.
Yeah. So you heard it here.
That's right. Heard it here for. But
Aaron the voice came up with the Debt Lifeline.
and I retired ever since that idea. No, but
You've been
seriously,
living off of the
just the one.
royalties.
Oh yeah, royal, royal. You know what? Anyway, but that's really the concept because listen, you and I talked about this on your show a while back. I produce shows with you. You
Right.
do that here. But the thing with Rob's show is unique in that it provides necessary information for people to have, to know that you're buried under credit because of the pandemic or this or that, and sometimes you don't see above the water, or you think you could pick up the phone and call in and resolve the situation or negotiate. You can, but not like this guy will do to represent you in those situations, and that's what's important about what he does, because he'll solve situations better than you or I, calling direct, sitting on the phone for 3 hours and getting nowhere.
But and that makes perfect sense to me because if you think about it, if you come into the studio here and you start telling me, I know this guy,
Right.
and he's got a great show and he blah 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 blah
Right.
and all this stuff, has more credibility than if Rob came into the studio himself and said, "Hey, I'm Rob Goldstein. I got this great show. I want
Right.
to do it." Blah 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 blah. Okay, yeah, it's your show. It's like your mom says how smart you are.
Right. Well,
But having
that's a great
someone
point.
else,
Right.
and I think that probably carries some weight with these companies
That's a great
that you're
point.
dealing
That's a
with.
great
Right.
point.
Yeah, absolutely. And from the standpoint of getting support for the show along that idea, I just started my 17th year behind the microphone. And thank goodness I have a following that wherever my projects take me, that follows. And along that line, people are saying, well, if Aaron is talking with these people and presenting these people, there's a reason for it. He is the trusted authority, as I like to say, in his industry. And there's very few people, it's a small industry for what he does
Right.
to the scale that he does it, especially with himself and the few support staff that he has to have that kind of success. And people know, well, if Aaron's involved with it, like you just said, there's some credibility to go with that because of that. And it's a great, and like I said earlier, I'm a client of his,
Right.
working on my wife's student loan situation and dealing with it. So I can talk from both sides of the fence for him.
Right. So you know that what he does works
Absolutely.
from personal experience.
Absolutely.
See, and I think that's great. So
And that's why we hope it continues to work.
Well,
Not just for me, but because of his success. I mean, over 30, 35 years he's doing it. That's a track record where a lot of people in this day and age, you're lucky you're in a business or a job for 10 years before moving on to the next.
Right.
You know, he's got 30, 35 years. That's pretty good credibility just on his own.
Long time.
And the laws change, the rules change,
I-
the economy changes. So for you to have been able to continue this long tells me that you have spent some time at least paying attention to what's studying.
There's an old saying in sailing, you know, when the wind changes, you tack, right?
Right.
You've heard that expression.
Yes.
You know.
Got it.
That's right.
Okay. Well, there's always changes in the economy and some of the laws. Like in 2010 was a change in there was a bankruptcy reform. Now, I'm schooled in bankruptcy law. I'm actually an expert in bankruptcy law.
And there are also, you have some attorneys that you work with as well.
I work with attorneys on both coasts.
Okay.
And I worked out of their offices and for them.
And you
And
also have an office in Florida.
I have an office in Florida, my own office in Florida that we have.
That was started during the hurricane.
Yeah. Hurricane brought it in. And I work here, and yes, the times have changed. We're more virtual these days. When I first started my practice, I mean, people would come to see me in my office in Irvine, per se. But things have changed, and you have to go with the flow. And you always have to change with the times, because some things are different today than they were, many years ago.
What do you find is the most difficult part of what you do?
Clients.
Leaving the TV show aside.
The clients.
I was going to say working with me, but I'm glad you put that in
No,
there.
no. I'm gonna say that it's dealing with clients' stress. Clients will wig out because they're in a corner,
Right.
and I've grown to be a very I'm straightforward. I'm right to the point. I'm blunt as can be, and I'm not warm and fuzzy. I just can't be warm and fuzzy. This isn't my home life.
Right.
This is business. And I remember when my mom died. My mom died 35-ish years ago. And she died quickly. She was ill. She had cancer. And I remember seeing the doctor, and he was very removed. He was a great doctor, I'm sure. Very removed. We're obviously we're hurt, and
Right.
It's your family member.
Right.
And I understood many years afterwards why. Because you have to be a little bit removed. You can't suck me into your problems.
Right.
Okay. I will do a better job just dealing with the problems than getting sucked in and crying
drama,
with you
yeah.
and the drama. And I don't want to hear the drama.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear the drama. I don't want to hear why, unless it's relevant to what happened.
And that makes sense.
I'm right to the point. I have to be right to the point in my business and in my personal life. I'm right to the point. So usually I'm the kind of guy who says what he does and does what he says. I mean, it's just I have to be that way. I am that way. I've become that way in the state of affairs that I'm doing.
So what's your favorite part of what you do?
Besides getting paid,
Besides getting paid.
besides getting paid, I love solving. If you want to know the truth, I love solving a problem and changing someone's life. Okay, whether it's I have this lady in New York, this client. Okay? I worked out of a law firm, and it was his largest client's executive secretary, whatever she was.
Right.
And he gave me to do her loan mod many years ago. I'll say 10, 12 years ago. And she has a 3 or 4 bedroom house on Long Island where taxes are very high. And I got her a loan mod down to she's paying right now about $1,200 a month. For
On
her,
Long Island?
For her 4-bedroom house, including taxes and insurance.
On Long Island?
On Long Island. Now, in the middle of dealing with me, she wigged out. Because, her ex-husband or ex-boyfriend was on the property, He was an attorney. He was on the title. He was an attorney, by the way, and he had tax liens. I got rid of all those things for them. But she wigged out. She was just having a panic attack, and I have to hold firm, and I do hold firm. I'm in the business of holding firm.
Right.
And I held firm. And after it was all said and done, she apologized. About a year afterwards, she referred me to her daughter who was going through foreclosure on, house now. The foreclosure process in New York takes a long time. And I was in the law office I worked out of in Long Island.
Right.
And she stepped out to talk to me privately, and she says, I'm going to do the best I can to quote her. I know I was the biggest bitch. I'm leaving out the word before the word bitch, just for your sake.
For all of our sakes.
Okay. And I'm so sorry. I'm so thankful you saved my life, and I know I trust you with my daughter's house, and I'm so sorry because you were incredible. And so it was a turnaround. See, now this woman has a house now, 4-bedroom house on Long Island. She's paying $1,200 a month, including tax and insurance.
Oh, she won.
Yeah.
She got what she
I
needed.
got her what she needed. And she
he was
apologized
off.
for wigging out on me. Mm-hmm. She referred me to her daughter. Okay, then after her daughter, she referred me to her sister, also on Long Island. All this is all Long Island.
Okay.
And she referred me to her sister. Her sister was very disorganized. And I saved the sister, I think, about $45,000 on the mortgage, so I get a commission on what I save.
Right.
And then solved that problem. Got her a loan mod, solved that problem. And then about a year later, sister falls in trouble again. About a year later, the daughter falls in trouble again. So from that all, it was five things. But you asked me what's my favorite thing. Is the reward when I solve a problem, I really solve a problem. It's not about, yes, I'm trying to make a living, and yes, my staff is all trying to make a living. But it's
Well, you have to keep going.
I have to. I have to make a living. But I will tell you this: it's when I solve someone's problem. When I got somebody an EIDL loan, the EIDL loan, because their business was hurting and they were struggling, is when I get rid of a big debt problem for somebody. When we talked about the lady whose husband died of Agent Orange, when I got her a big award, or the girl that was caught up in a workman's comp case for 19 years. When I solve the problems and I change their lives, it makes me feel good.
Yeah.
And most businesses rely on word of mouth. 60 to 70%.
It's all word of mouth.
Referrals.
It's all word of mouth.
And when you have those kind of stories and contact and results, you can't help but not want to be helped and have the same kind of results, and know that the person who's helping you is satisfied with the fact that they helped you. Yeah, he got paid, services rendered, but the fact that his greatest satisfaction is helping somebody out of that crisis, that's a whole different ball of wax.
I'm going to give you another quick example. I know probably time is coming up.
Yeah, we're getting close. But
I have a friend of mine. I met him when I first moved here, and he worked at the hotel that I lived at. I lived at the Palms, the condo side of the Palms.
Right.
And a few years later, he got fired at the Palms. He was a victim of actually wrongful termination, which I know is hard to do here in Vegas because it's an at-will state, as opposed to, let's say, California. And he got denied his unemployment. I filed an appeal for him because I can do that. Mm-hmm. And I went to there was a hearing, but at the unemployment office with the unemployment officer at the unemployment office, the HR manager from the Palms, which now is Stations. It was after Stations bought it, and their attorney, and I did my hearing for him, which I was legally allowed to do.
Right.
And I made mincemeat out of them. And he did win his case and got his unemployment for as long as he probably can get his unemployment for. And I chewed them up. And we walk outside, and I'm going to quote you the best I possibly can. And you've met him 2 or 3 times already. Mm-hmm. And he says to me, "Goldstein, I knew you were good. I didn't know you were that good. And I got him his unemployment, and I just did it for him as a favor because he was a friend of mine. And
Right.
and I did. I did a good job. So I could play my greatest hits album, I guess, of all these different things. I could probably fill an archive full of them, but I enjoy the victory. So I'm answering your question, kind of.
No. That was a good answer. Yeah, I'm satisfied with it.
Okay. Okay.
Are you guys satisfied with it?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, they're happy.
The tribe
That's
has
all that
spoken.
counts,
They're
yeah.
satisfied.
Okay. There you go.
And we are running out of time. I know you got to hit the road.
Mondays, 9 a.m. right
Mondays,
here.
9 a.m. Right.
Yep.
And we're going to do it live on Facebook Live, which is RG Consulting.
No, it's our Goldstein Consulting.
Our Goldstein
Consulting on Facebook.
And the Deadline on YouTube.
Dead Lifeline on YouTube,
Right.
and other platforms are coming as well.
Yeah.
There's some meetups out there that are part of the organization as well.
Okay.
Women of Minority Funding 101.
Right. Oh, that's right.
Is out
Yeah.
there. So there's a lot out there. Bottom line is, you want to reach out to Rob, 702-701-2992, free consultation. Give him a call, and he'll let you know yay or nay what's the best. He'll give you choices of what's the best way to handle your situation.
Excellent.
Me, I just drive the car on the show, and I avoid icebergs.
Right. Sounds like a plan.
Iceberg Goldberg.
Gentlemen,
Right.
Aaron, thanks.
Yes, sir. Always
Thanks
a
for coming
pleasure.
in.
My pleasure.
Rob, welcome to the
WWDBTV. I love the way that sounds. WWDBTV.
You got it. All right, you guys. Hey, just thank you for coming in. Thank you for supporting the station. Thank you for all the Roku viewers and all the people that check us out on WWDBTV. And remember, if you're going to do it with styles.
Nice work, John.